Hello and welcome to a short video series where I argue with myself, debate, and discuss what game we're going to be playing next here on the channel, Game and Games. I also have been watching a little bit of psychology YouTube to try and help me figure out the best game choice, which we will discuss later. But first, I just kind of want to go over some of the pool of games that I have been thinking about. So first off, I just want to say some people have made suggestions and I'm still welcoming suggestions. Just because I have 44 games here doesn't necessarily mean that the next game I play will be one of these 44, or that these are the only games I'm ever going to play, or that I probably won't even, I don't know how long this YouTube channel will go on for, but it's highly unlikely that I'll end up playing all of these games. So these are just some of the games that I'm currently thinking about. I am completely open to suggestions. And there are three main categories of games that I have been thinking about. Games that I have started and not finished, and always planned on going back to and finishing. Games that I have finished and loved and want to replay. And then games I've never played before that I've wanted to play before. And this could be games that are already released or have yet to release. So we're going to do 3 or 4 videos. It's going to be a short series kind of going over all these things. We're going to start with games that I have begun but not finished and eagerly want to. But before we do that, I do have to acknowledge the small elephant in the room. There are 2 other games that I've started on this channel that I haven't finished yet. One is a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Blue version, which started as a Let's Play series, and then I transitioned it to streaming every other Monday on what I was calling Poke Mondays, and it was good and it was fun, but I think I just got distracted by Stardew Valley, surprise, surprise, and it kind of just fell to the wayside. And then the other, which I've only done as a Let's Play series, is Princess Peach Showtime. I do intend to finish both of these. Neither of them are particularly long games, and it's very possible that the next game I play when we finish Perfection on Stardew Valley will actually be one of these before we start something completely brand new. I think in all likelihood, we'll probably go from Stardew Valley to one of these 2 games, then start something brand new, and then after that's done, finish the other of these. So then we'll be on a clean slate after that. Alright, with that out of the way, we're going to jump into the 10 games that I want to finish most in no particular order. And we're going to start with a very unique game, Cult of the Lamb, which I actually started as a Let's Play series for my other YouTube channel that I have with my friends Daniel and Hev, The Horror of Babylon, which primarily is a horror book club podcast, but we also did a little bit of gaming content on the side. We've since stopped doing it for kind of algorithm reasons, but I did do a small Let's Play series with like 4 or 5 videos and I think 1 live stream of this game, and I loved it, but at the time it was too much to do a Let's Play series and the podcast, so I wasn't able to keep up to it, so I put it down. And that was 2022, I believe, so it's been a couple years. I think the last time I played it was October of 22. So I'd absolutely like to come back to it if you're not familiar with it. It's a game where you play as a lamb and you have to build a cult, and you have to find followers and create ceremonies, and it's kind of dark, but it's kind of not. It's really unique. I think it's from Massive Monster or something like that. And you really have to see it to kind of understand it. And it really fits in the like cozy farm RPG life sim genre well, and it's hard to explain if you've never seen it yourself. Okay, so next up on 10 games I would like to finish: The Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds, the 3DS sequel to my favorite Zelda game, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I got this at a point in my life where I just couldn't get into handheld gaming. I was very, very busy. I had 2 small children, had them all day, was a stay-at-home dad, and then worked in the evenings on weekends, and was trying to, have a relationship and balance a house or manage a house and do all this stuff. And it was the wrong time to be playing this game in my life. I really want to go back to it. I love A Link to the Past. It's my favorite Zelda game. I believe I already said that. So I'd love to experience the sequel. I didn't get very far. I'm not even sure if I finished the first temple in this game. I got stuck on something and then just kind of used it as an excuse to stop playing. And yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so we would definitely love to play that. And then the third entry on this list, and again, this is in no particular order, is another Legend of Zelda game. It's The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, which was such an unexpected hit for me. It's a top-down, sort of pixelish art style, just like A Link to the Past, but has a lot more. It has more unique mechanics than some of the other Zelda games, primarily because you have a hat that is alive and sentient and gives you magical powers, and you use them to interact with the world. It's a ton of fun. It was that same kind of period in my life where I just was really busy and didn't have time to sit down and hover over a DS or a Game Boy and play these RPGs. I really wanted to, but it didn't work out. So that's another one that I would absolutely love, and it is available on Switch now. So that is definitely something that I've been considering. Fourth entry, something I already talked about. Over here, please. Thank you. We've already talked about this, and I have actually made a couple plans to start this, but had to my capture card. My capture card died, so I wasn't able to start it. Final Fantasy X, probably my second favorite Final Fantasy game. I've started it 3 times. I love it every time I play it, but I just have never had the time and energy to sit down and get through to the ending. The second time I played it in college, I think, I got to not the final boss, but one of the last bosses, and got stuck on it and was busy with kids in school and just used that as an excuse to stop playing. But I would absolutely love to go back and finish this one, and I think for sure I will play this one on the channel. But when, I'm not sure. Okay, next up is another Final Fantasy game. It's my favorite Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy XII. I played this when I was a senior in high school. I had a really rough year as a senior, as a lot of people do. And I had a lot of depression. In this game, this is one of 2 games my senior year that really got me through. And I put an absurd amount of hours into this game. And why didn't I finish it? Well, I actually got to the end of the game, got to the final boss, played it once or twice and lost. And I said, this is probably something that happens to a lot of people. I'm going to go and finish all of the side quests, and then I'll come back and do the final boss. And of course, I never did. Now, in my defense, I did already have a significant portion of the side quests finished. But, just never made time. Ended up, going to college and getting busy and all that stuff. But this is absolutely my favorite. I love the world. I love the battle system. I would love to play this thing start to finish, get 100% completion on the channel, but that is a huge undertaking, a lot of hours, and I'm not sure how much Drake would enjoy that type of game, but I don't know, maybe he would. It's hard to say. But it definitely deserves a slot on this list. I don't have these in any particular order, but if I did, this one would probably be close to the top. Okay. What is the 6th entry on this list? It would have to be the bane of my existence as a child. The game that made me feel stupid, but I always came back to it. I basically had an abusive relationship with this game, and I don't know if it's because I wasn't very intelligent as a kid, or the game is actually as hard as I remember, but it's got to be Digimon World, the original RPG for the PS1. I loved and hated this game. I loved playing it and just messing around and running around in the world, but I could never, for the life of me, figure out what I actually needed to do to advance this game. So I would absolutely love to come back to this as an adult, even if you don't, play the full game. Just do one stream with it to see what it's like revisiting it in my 30s. Ideally, I'd like to play the whole thing start to finish, but I don't know. But I do have a copy of this, so I think you can bet that I'll do at least one video or stream with this game. Okay. Next, Tulip on the PS2 from Natsume. This game is an absolute trip, and similar to Cult of the Lamb, it is very unique, and I don't think I could even really begin to explain it. Why did I not finish this one? My brother borrowed it, and he still has it. I need to get it back from him if I'm ever going to play it. So I'm not going to try and explain this game. You can look it up for yourself if you're curious, but this game is weird. It's maybe one of the weirdest games, maybe the weirdest game I've ever played. It's so insanely out there. Okay, next up, Graveyard Keeper. Another game that just kind of made me feel dumb because I was struggling with it a lot. So basically, imagine a farm RPG like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, but instead of managing a farm, you're managing a graveyard. You get bodies that come in. The donkey there in the picture, he brings them to you. He's also a communist, and you have to do the autopsies, and you have to put the stuff in them that prevents them from decaying, and you have to harvest organs, and then you got to bury them, and you arrange the graveyard, and you decorate it, and then you also have a little side garden to support yourself, and there's resource collecting, and you get stone and wood, just like all of these games, to help you do upgrades, and you have a skill tree and all this stuff. Very similar to Stardew Valley, but also extremely different. I put several hours into it a few years ago and really enjoyed it, but it was just hard, and I kind of got frustrated with it and stopped, and I'd love to come back to it, and maybe with your guys' support I can make it through this game. Okay, what's next? Aha, The Hobbit. The adventure platformer that was released on... I have my copies on the GameCube. I know it was also on the Xbox and PC. I don't know if it was on PlayStation 2 as well. This game I always messed around with as a kid, or it was probably as an adolescent, I think, because this game is, I want to say this game's 2004, 2003, something like that, and had a really good time with it. It's highly stylized, really loved the world, but I never actually just got a chance to sit and play through all of it, so that's something I'd love to do. The Hobbit is my favorite book. Middle-earth is my second biggest obsession after Star Wars, so I would really love to play that for you guys. And then the final slot on this is going to come to my favorite Harvest Moon game that I haven't finished. This is the one that I like the most of the ones that I never got all the way through, and that's A Wonderful Life, which originally came out on the GameCube. It got a re-release on the PlayStation 2. It just recently had a re-release, not a re-release, but an HD version with some upgrades and changes. This one I really enjoyed. A huge Harvest Moon fan. I identified Harvest Moon Back to Nature as my favorite game, period, for years and years until I played Stardew Valley. And this is the one of the franchise that I like the most that I never got through, and I would just like to spend the time to do that. Now, I have one honorable mention. I'm sorry, I have two honorable mentions in this category. One is another Harvest Moon game, Tree of Tranquility, on the Wii. Kind of rinse and repeat everything I just said about A Wonderful Life, except I like this one a little bit less than A Wonderful Life. And then the other one would be The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which of course came out last... Oh god, has it been 2 years now? Was it 22 or was it 23? No, I think it was early 23, like quarter 1 23. And, you know, I had been playing this game and kind of got distracted with life, and I've still like picked it up here and there and played it, and I said that this is going to be the game that I play offline. This is going to be the game that I play for me, but unfortunately my video game time, aside from like mobile gaming, like Pokemon Go and such, has really just been on this channel. So if I want to play a game, I should probably play it on the channel, and that's probably what I'm going to have to do for Tears of the Kingdom. But that's it for this time. Join us next time as I discuss the 10 games that I want to replay most on this channel. Thank you for watching, and DarthDaimyo is blasting off again.